Thanks to our new partner Cook Smarts for supporting and nourishing Another Mother Runner. Founded by a mom with 3 young kids, Cook Smarts is an online meal plan service with more than 1,000 dinner recipes. Get 20% off with code AMR20 at cooksmarts.com/AMR. Thanks to Flamingo for its continued support of Another Mother Runner. Flamingo is in more than 1 million bathrooms, including mine, and it can be in yours too for just $16 with free shipping today when you visit shopflamingo.com/AMR. Thanks to Purple for supporting Another Mother Runner. Purple is an evolutionary mattress with its own patented technology. Go to purple.com/AMR and use promo code AMR. For a limited time, you'll get $150 off any Purple mattress order of $1,500 or more. Welcome to Another Mother Runner. This is Sarah Bowen Shea. I'm joined by Maggie Palmer. Hello, Maggie.
Hey, Sarah.
How goes life in Ohio?
Oh, I feel like on all my Zoom meetings, I'm just used to saying, it's great. How about you? But I don't know. It's like week 18,021 of homeschool for me. Ohio, we started, I feel like March 16th. It was a while ago.
Yeah, that's when Oregon stopped doing school as well. Yeah. So, but on a happier note, we are both training for marathons.
It's going really well. I have to say, I've never followed a plan before.
Wait, do you mean for anything? Because this is your debut marathon. Are you saying you've never followed a training plan for any race before?
No, I'm insane. Like, I've always just been the type of person that's like, feeling cute, might go run half marathon. I don't know. Like, my husband is always like, how'd you go run like 13 miles? I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll go on the towpath and just keep running and running, and he can see me on his, but like we're connected on our Apple Watches.
Uh-huh.
And he'll like text me. He's be like, are you okay?
Have you been abducted by someone who has you on their back?
Yeah. I'm like, we're all runners. We get it. Like, some days you run 2 miles and it feels like 12. And other days you're like, I was supposed to run 6 or 8 or whatever. And you're like, why not 13?
Wow. Oh, no, those days, that second scenario doesn't happen to me very often, if at all.
It's becoming less likely, but I think training is good, because even if I feel good, I look at the training plan and I say, no. It says 6 miles. Like, that's it. I don't want to get shin splint. I have never had shin splints. I'm knocking on wood, but I have started to get them because I'm running around my neighborhood and on my treadmill. And it's a lot of like, I'm not mixing it up with trails, just because now I've kind of been avoiding trails. With everything going on. I feel like everybody's out there. People are walking their dogs that they've had for 5 years but never walked. So it's like, oh wow.
Because
my dog doesn't like people.
You have quite an extensive trail network. It's not so much like people might think of trails in Colorado, let's say, like rutted and going over mountains and things like this. This is a lot of, as you call them, towpaths, and right? Is that what you mean?
So it's very accessible. So
yes.
You've got the people walking 5 across. You've got, the biker who's like thinks he's in some big race at the moment and almost runs you over. And then you have the kids and the dogs
and the trailers. Yeah.
Oh, you just have a lot going on. And I'm like, and I saw 2 people getting a little argument about face masks. And I was like, I'm just going to hang out on my treadmill. I'm on the Nordic track. It's fun. I watch like reveal shows. So like I have to
reveal
like
shows.
This restaurant reveal where it's like, I've invested 45 minutes. I've got to see what they did with it.
Oh my gosh. Did you watch Making the Cut on Amazon Prime, the Heidi Klum, Tim Gunn, the new version?
I have not.
Oh, you got to watch it. It's good. It's good. Particularly because I think I've said this before on a different episode, but it's, for a while they're in Paris and then Tokyo. And so I'm really into shows that where you get to go somewhere as part of.
That's what I'm watching, Restaurant on the Edge. And they go, like they were just in China. And so that's the other reason, like you, I like it because it's like,
it's
I get to
escapist.
see somewhere new. And and this place is a mess. I wonder how they're going to turn it around. And then I'm like, I want to get off the treadmill, but I'm like, I got to see what happens. So I trick myself.
Yes. Very good. Very good. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of segues into, I hear you've been cooking a fair bit, making Indian food.
Yes, I've always wanted to make Indian food, and I don't have the time. I don't have all the spices. So I went to like a local place here, and you kind of ordered in advance, and they brought the bag out to your car.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was telling my Indian friends that I always like laughed about this spice kitchen. I get it. Like I rearranged my entire pantry because like the whole two sides of it now are my spices.
No way. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And I've also you used this term with me in a text or an email yesterday. I have never heard the term spice kitchen. So for those of us who don't know what it is, are you saying that, that Indians sometimes have actual like whole separate areas for spices?
Yes. My friend in Chicago, her parents lived with her. They were from India. And they remodeled their kitchen, and she literally had to have this whole back, almost like a butler's pantry, that was the spice kitchen for her mom, because it's like, you can't like just buy, this is curry mix, which that's a whole other thing. Don't say curry for anything. But anyways, I learned a lot from her. I mean, she didn't speak English, but me and her
from the mom.
Yes, peas in a pod. And she showed her one hilarious secret was the chicken. She would buy it from Costco, the little breaded nugget chicken.
Oh.
And that's what she would use for the chicken tikka masala. But she was like, don't tell my husband. Like, he cannot know this.
Her life hack, her cooking hack.
Your secret is safe. We all need a cooking hack, especially when like you're using 20 different spices. I mean, it's an all-day affair, but I love it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. My kids, we love Indian food. We just adore it.
But you're the baking queen, right?
I am. I've always done a lot of baking, but definitely I've stepped it up because, as my kids say, that dinner is the one thing they look forward to now. So having a dessert is meaningful to them. And you know what? I like sweets. So, I bake muffins, but I have been baking angel food cake, which my kids totally make fun of the way I say angel food cake. They think it should be angel food cake. And I'm like, it's not food cake. It is angel food cake.
Or is it angel food cake?
So I served that. I made one of those yesterday afternoon and served that with homemade hot fudge sauce.
Ooh.
And my dad adored the hot fudge sauce that my mother made. And so it really, and she, toward the end of his life, she just always had a pot of it on the stove. Like, she wouldn't put it away. It would just kind of sit there, and then you got to, warm it up and everything. And so she let him have, vanilla. He liked Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream with this homemade hot fudge sauce on it. And so she let him have that every dinner, and pretty much oftentimes he'd eat more of the dessert than he would of the dinner. And then probably she started letting him have it for lunch. And it was just like, the dude's 92. Like, what?
I mean, have at it, like put it in a Coke bottle and just drink it.
Right.
Enjoy your life. That's what I'll be doing at 92.
Oh my gosh, I can see it, the little hamster thing, the little bottle, and you can go up and just lick it.
Yes.
The little roller ball at the end.
That's what I'm going to do. We're going to sit there and lick it.
We're going to have to modify the roller ball so that it won't get gunked up or anything.
Well, that's your job. You have one job, okay?
Okay.
Come to my house, fix the roller ball. I'll just push a button. Like, meh, meh. It's all stuck. Where were you?
Oh my goodness. So I've been making that. I detailed making carrot cake, which I think I've made twice, but then I have all the ingredients for it. So I'm going to make another one of those. So somehow we ended up with just a surfeit of cream cheese. So I got to get rid of the cream cheese.
I hate that, because now too with online ordering, I feel like sometimes I'll be like, I just need, a dozen eggs. And they come out with 50.
Well,
Well, we
see,
didn't have that, but we had this. I'm like, what?
you need to make an angel food cake because it uses 10 to 12 eggs. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
oh yeah, well, it uses egg whites.
Didn't know that angel food cake took so many eggs.
Yeah, I made so many I had to buy new cream of tartar when I went to Whole Foods the other day.
Oh, cream of tartar.
Yes, versus do not put tartar sauce in your angel
Cream
food
of tartar.
cake. Oh my God.
Like, these are the fights your family is having right now. The emphasis on the word. You could tell that you're the mom.
As Jack would say, are you putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable?
And your eyes just bug out of your head.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, yes. All right. So, but despite all our talk of food, we do not have a nutritionist or a dietitian or a chef on today's show. Our guest today is Laura Tempesta, a sports bra expert and founder of a bra finder bra review site called Bra-avenger. And like last week's guest, Laura was supposed to be in studio with me. I can't believe I would have had 2 weeks in a row in studio guests. I love in studio guests. Augie loves them. Alex loves them. So instead, it's just me and Augie here. So Laura was going to fly down from her home in Vancouver, BC. Instead, she's joining us via Zoom. Laura has an impressive sports bra resume that includes being, get this, the only American with a master's degree in lingerie design. She's also the only person in the world with an MA that was specifically designed to study the engineering, design, performance, and innovation of sports bras. And before she set out on her own, Laura was Nike's sports bra innovation director, because that's how Nike rolls with fancy titles like that. Maggie and I will talk with Laura after this brief break. Stay tuned. This morning, I called my 93-year-old mother. The first words out of her mouth to me were, "Let's talk about food. What are you making for the family these days?" We proceeded to have a lively conversation about cooking dinner and, more importantly, deciding what to make for dinner, the age-old question. I told her all about my new devotion to Cook Smarts, the online meal plan service that thankfully now provides the answer to the question, "What's for dinner, Mom?" Given that my mom's not tech savvy, I had to simplify the details about Cook Smarts, but I told her how every Thursday Cook Smarts emails members a weekly menu, that I can then customize the serving sizes and opt for gluten-free, paleo, or vegetarian options of the recipes. Okay, so she didn't understand what paleo meant. We shared a good laugh when I pointed out that if me, her youngest child, didn't like a certain recipe suggestion, Cook Smarts has an archive of more than 1,000 dinner recipes to choose from. I found a new favorite recipe that way, quinoa bowls with soldered chickpeas. She was impressed. We reminisced about me learning to cook by her side in the kitchen. I told her how Cook Smart's online meal pages are broken out into prep steps, then make steps, which really helps speed up the cooking process. Now I just wish I could whip up a dinner for my mom, suggested by Cook Smarts. Try Cook Smarts now. Our listeners get 20% off with code AMR20 at cooksmarts.com/AMR. That's 20% off at cooksmarts.com/AMR with code AMR20. cooksmarts.com/AMR with code AMR20. In this episode, we spent some time talking about chafing, dreaded chafing. I swear I seem to sprout a new chafing hotspot with every run. But I just realized one way to minimize underarm chafing, to do a quick, dry shave of my pits when I get dressed to run. TMI? I think not, if it'll help you avoid the painful fate. Now, before I pull on my sports bra and tank top, I grab my flamingo razor and do a few quick swipes under my arms, then apply an anti-chafe balm. Bye-bye painful chafing caused by countless arm swings. Whether used dry or in the shower with Flamingo's lush, foaming shave gel, a Flamingo razor is a mother runner's best friend in the bathroom. Flamingo's 5-blade cartridges do an amazing job at giving a clean, close shave on legs, knees, aforementioned armpits, and anywhere else you choose to shave. Its weighted, textured handle assures the razor sits securely in your hand in a post-run shower. Flamingo razors are also pretty, available in several colors, and affordable. Try the Flamingo Shave Set for just $16. It's your entire shave routine, including Flamingo's award-winning razor, that shave gel I mentioned, and body lotion. Plus, they throw in a slip-free shower hook. I'm telling you, shaving feels better when it's not overpriced. And with their 30-day money-back guarantee, you can try Flamingo risk-free. Flamingo has more than 1 million bathrooms, and it can be in yours too for just $16 with free shipping today when you visit shopflamingo.com/AMR. That's shopflamingo/AMR. Yes, flamingo like the bird. shopflamingo.com/AMR. Purple. My first thought is it's an unusual name for a mattress brand, but it turns out Purple gets its name from the incredibly innovative, patented comfort technology its mattresses are made of, the Purple Grid. As soon as I felt it, I realized the color of it is the least remarkable thing about it. The Purple Grid instantly adapts to your body's natural shape and sleep style. Purple is for every body, no matter how you sleep, on your side, back, stomach, you name it. Purple is designed with more than 2,800 open-air channels and naturally temperature-neutral gel. You'll never sleep too hot or too cold. Let me repeat that. On a Purple mattress, you'll never sleep too hot or too cold. Whether you're hot flashing countless times a night or have a preschooler hogging all the covers, Purple works for you. The Purple mattress is soft where you want it, firm where you need it, and comfortably cool all over. It's truly a mattress that does it all. Purple is so confident in what they do that every Purple mattress comes with free shipping and returns and a risk-free 100-night trial. Experience the next evolution of sleep. Go to purple.com/AMR and use promo code AMR. For a limited time, you'll get $150 off any Purple mattress order of $1,500 or more. That's purple.com/AMR, promo code AMR, for $150 off any mattress order of $1,500 or more. Terms apply. Welcome, Laura. Thanks for remotely joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on.
Yeah, I'm sorry we couldn't be together here in Portland.
No, likewise. But you know what? We're living in a new world and we're adapting, so it's all good.
Yes. So I don't think I ever asked you, what activity gets you sweating in a sports bra?
I actually do a lot of weightlifting and training. I think I mentioned to you, I have this history of, I spent a few years not able to walk after I had a knee surgery. So I was a runner many, many years ago, and then I had a knee surgery and had a really rare complication. And really long story short is I recovered by using weightlifting and by swimming. So that is basically what I do now. I do a lot of training, swimming and weightlifting, and it gets me up and going and it keeps my legs strong. And I have a lot of gratitude for having that in my life because it's really helped me quite a bit.
Yeah.
So you just alluded to this, but we know you have a really interesting backstory. It explains why you almost literally feel the pain of women who won't run because of breast pain or the wrong sports bra, chafing. Just saying the word makes me hurt. So can you tell us more about why not being able to walk for nearly 2 years ignited your passion for helping women find sports bra solutions?
Yes, absolutely. So like I told you, I used to be a runner, and I ran 5 miles a day. I lived and breathed running. It was my everything. I had this really rare complication after a knee surgery, and it resulted in a condition called RSD. And it's a very painful condition, and it left me unable to walk for 2 years. And I had to do a ton of rehab and recovery to regain my ability to walk. And so this is a really big part of, my life story and feeling pain and knowing what it's like to want to be active and have a part of your body prevent you from doing that. Like, I know that so intimately. I worked at Nike for almost a decade, and I worked in their innovation department. And while I was in their innovation department, we brought on a bra project. And through the experience of sitting in focus groups and hearing women tell me about all of the reasons that they couldn't run, one being that their breasts were too big and they were in too much pain, or their bras caused them too much pain, it really ignited a passion in me and really got me riled up, because I was sitting there thinking, and I can remember this exact moment, I was sitting there thinking, okay, I've had issues with my leg, and not being able to run because of issues in your legs, that makes total sense. But not being able to run because your breasts are too big, that's ridiculous. Like, this is a solvable problem. And I really felt like this is my calling. Like, I just had this, aha epiphany moment and felt like this is my calling. This is what I want to solve. And the long story short is that Nike ended up sponsoring me to go and get a master's degree in lingerie design at a school in the UK that's specifically known for that. And the school doesn't offer the degree anymore, but at that time you could custom design a master's degree. So we worked with a school to custom design a degree that combined sports bra biomechanics, sports bra design, sports bra pattern making, all of the fabrics that go into sports bras, all of the research that had been done into sports bras into one degree, so that I could come out of that degree and be the most like holistic sports bra expert pretty much in the world. And that was what I did. And it's been my passion ever since. And yes, it was because of that experience with my legs that really allowed me to have empathy for people who were unable to run because of their breast size, especially. And I still feel quite passionate about that. And I still feel like the industry hasn't quite solved that problem. And I hope that to be part of that solution.
Yeah, you can really hear the passion in your voice. I admire that.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, yeah, more people would be interested in this, but that brings me to Bra-evolution. Can you tell us more about what exactly that is?
Sure. So I resigned from Nike back in 2016, and it was honestly because of this passion that I have, and all due respect to Nike, it's a great company, but if you're someone like me who basically wants to change the world, and I wanted to change the world one ill-fitting sports bra at a time, you can't do that in the context of one brand. You have to be able to go out and influence multiple brands to change, how they're doing things. And it occurred to me that the only way for me to do that was probably to go into consulting, like to actually go out and like, obviously I have a very unique expertise. I have a, very deep expertise in sports bras in a way that no other expert in sports bras has, because most experts in sports bras are either biomechanists, they're either scientists, or they're designers. And I'm somebody who bridges both of those worlds. And my master's thesis was specifically about how can we figure out how to make the best sports bras out there and what works and what doesn't. And so I knew that this deep expertise that I have, I could use to help lots of brands make better bras, which ultimately was going to help the world in a much bigger way than just working with one brand. So I resigned from Nike and I started this brand called Bra-evolution. And it's a combination of a couple of things. It's the name of my consulting practice, and it's kind of like a vocal and visible resume that doubles as a public service. So I have a guide on there, like a free guide to help women find the right sports bras. I also evaluate sports bras using slow motion videos, high speed slow motion videos, and also my take on them as an expert. So I'll take a bra, put it on a bunch of different sizes, look at how they look in the slow motion videos, and then give my evaluation of how I think that bra performs, and whether or not I think it's a good buy or not. Because that's one thing that a lot of manufacturers don't want you to see, is how those bras perform in slow motion. Because a lot of times, if you see how they perform in slow motion, you probably wouldn't purchase them. So I wanted to kind of put a flashlight and magnifying glass on that, and just allow consumers to see how bras actually perform through the lens of an expert.
Nice. So Laura, talk about the sizing situation that you detailed to me in person, that opener to me when we had tea together in January. Or I think it was January. So please describe what it is and how it impacts women trying to find the right bras for them.
Sure. Oh my gosh, sister sizing. So that moment in your life where you first learn about sex and you're like, what is happening? Hold the phone. What is going on? This is what sister sizing was for me. Honestly, when I found out about sister sizing, my mind, the way sister sizing works, and the easiest way for me to describe it is so let's take four sizes that sound totally different. A 38A, 36B, 34C, and 32D, same size breast. They all fit the exact same size breast. And most women have no idea that this is how bras are sized. So I don't know why it's not CNN headline news, but it is. So what you've been told your whole life is that A cups are small and D cups are large. When in actuality, there are A cups that are small and A cups that are large, and there are D cups that are small and there are D cups that are large. And every cup is also a D cup if her underband size changes. So the only difference between each of those sizes that I just described to you is the length of the underband. So a 38A and a 32D are the exact same size breast, but the length of the underband is different. And why they decided that it would make sense to call those things two totally different things is rooted in a very strange history where bra sizing began with Victorian shirt sizing, and then they had to figure out how to keep, naming these bras as Victorian shirt sizes. So they came up with this convoluted thing called sister sizing. But it is so ridiculous. And it is the reason why so many women are wearing the wrong bra size. And so it's just, if you are going to buy a bra, please, I'm just going to, please educate yourself about sister sizing, because you can't go into a store looking for a bra and not knowing that this is how bras are sized, because then you're essentially putting all the power in the hands of the fitter to say, hey, tell me what my size is. Like a woman should go into a bra store knowing what bra sizing is, knowing what it looks like, so that when a fitter says, hey, I think you're this size, you can counter back and say, actually this underband feels a little tight. What about my sister size? Do you think I could actually be this other size instead?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something to know about for sure.
And you have videos on your site that go, short, quick hit videos, 3 minutes long, whatever, that take them through this. So that you're not try to find research papers about this, but Evolution can help. The videos on there can help them figure this out.
Yes, I explain it in my TED Talk as well. So there's a little
nice
explanation in that as well.
Nice.
So we like to solicit questions on our Facebook page because our community is very interested in bras, obviously. So Jenny has a question we all want to know, because we're all doing it wrong probably, but how long should a sports bra last, and when do we need to replace it?
This is an excellent question. So there's a general blanket rule that will tell you should throw your bra out after a year, that a bra should never have a birthday. And what I would say to that is, if you wear your bras all the time, that is a good general rule. Like if you don't have a lot of bras in your rotation, if you're wearing them, several times a week. And the reason for that is that because the support from a sports bra is coming from a lot of different things. It's coming from how it's constructed, and it's coming from the fabric as well. And the fabrics in really high quality sports bras have a high spandex content, and spandex over time starts to lose its power. So if you're using a bra frequently, you're washing it frequently, you definitely shouldn't be putting it in the dryer, but if you're washing it frequently, then you probably should be replacing it every year. Now, if you have a lot of bras in your rotation and you wear your bra maybe once a week, then you can probably have the bra last longer, like, maybe a year and a half or even 2 if you don't use it very often. But the general rule of thumb is a year. And that's kind of the blanket statement I'll make, not knowing what someone's personal situation is. But there is some leeway in that, depending on how often you use your bra. And one way to test is, when somebody goes to purchase a bra, I'll tell them one of the things that they can do is they can use a slow motion feature on their camera to video themselves in the dressing room, maybe jumping up, down, and just seeing how much they're moving in the bra. Like if you do that when you purchase the bra and then you do it a year later, like that might give you a sense of whether or not the bra is still supporting you well. Or you can just, look at, well, gosh, am I really having to tighten the bra more at the underband or tighten the straps more? Am I feeling a little bit more saggy in it than I did originally? Then it's time to throw it out, because then it's not doing its job. It's not supporting you.
And I want to jump on something you mentioned, that we should not put bras in the dryer. I feel like most of us know that, but maybe we didn't learn that until our 30s. Maybe that's just me. What is the best washing and care protocol for bras? Put that another way, how much do you need to babysit bras in the laundry room?
Another excellent question. So I'm going to tell you how I take care of mine as a bra expert. I do not hand wash my bras. I don't have time for that. And I don't know who does.
Right.
I know that that's what they tell you to do, but I don't do that. What I do is I put mine in a lingerie bag, and I knot the bag so that even in the bag, the bra isn't moving around too much. So, I put it at the bottom of the bag, I knot the bag so it's really securely in there. And then, sometimes I wash it on the gentle cycle, and sometimes I just wash it in cold. I don't put any fabric softeners. Fabric softeners will prevent the bra from wicking. So don't use fabric softeners either in the washer, and please don't put it in the dryer. But if you do, don't use fabric softeners in the dryer. But ideally you would, you can hand wash it, or you can wash it the way I've just told you, and then you hang it to dry. That's the best way to take care of a bra.
Did you take notes, Sarah?
I did.
Because I was writing furious. I am the worst bra owner ever, apparently.
Are you putting them in the dryer with fabric softener?
I don't want to tell you because
Okay.
you have a TED Talk about bras, and I will feel the judgment coming. I will just say I plead the fifth.
Well, there's always a time to make a new stand and to start a new life.
I'm turning my bra life around today.
Yeah, turn a new leaf with your bras.
Never again.
All right, so let's go back to the topic of bra fit with this question from Kristen. How tight is too tight? She said she's been fitted at her local store, but it always seems like the band is way too tight. Should she expect a break-in period or just suck it up and ignore their fitting and go with what feels better? And then Becca asked that same question in another way. Decent compression without suffocation? I'm only a B, so it shouldn't be that difficult.
Yes. So let me start again by talking a little bit about sister sizing and all of these bras that fit the same breast but have slightly different underbands. So if you don't mind, I'm going to digress a little into also just figuring out your right size too, because I think that this is related. So as a bra expert, I'm going to tell you that measuring is a myth. So measuring persists in the retail industry because it is so pervasive in consumers' minds that this is how you get size for a bra, that they keep doing it. But in actuality, bra stores and retailers who know their salt know that measuring is not the right way to get somebody's bra size. It gets you into the ballpark. And the analogy that I use is like, imagine if we were going to make a cake. And I said, okay, now just pour a bunch of flour on your counter and take a measuring tape and put that measuring tape over the flour, and 12 inches of flour is what you need for your cake. That doesn't work. Okay, so measuring tapes are for linear A to B measurements on hard surfaces. They are not for 3D soft masses. Okay, you can't determine a volume from a measuring tape. You just can't. You can give, like if you have, a tablespoon of flour versus 3 cups of flour, yeah, you can get a sense of how much flour you have, but you can't get an exact amount of flour because, like, where do you start this measuring tape? Do you start it where there's a little few grains of flour? Do you go where the bulk of the flour is? What if you didn't put the flour in evenly? What if you have more flour at the top or the bottom? And breasts are like that. There are breasts that are top heavy. There are breasts that are bottom heavy. So using a measuring tape to assess the breast itself, does not work. And then also for the rib cage as well, it's another thing that just gets you into the ballpark and doesn't give you an exact size. So remember, the rib cage, the 32, 34, et cetera, that came from Victorian shirt sizing. And when people tell you to put a measuring tape around you and add 4 or 5 inches, they're just trying to get you in the ballpark of a Victorian shirt size. It doesn't tell you necessarily what your band size actually is. So another analogy for this is think about like the belt that you use for your jeans, right? Imagine if instead of a hard piece of leather, that was a stretchy piece of elastic and it still had all those holes in it. And instead of 3 belts that you could purchase, there are 6 belts that you could purchase between 30, 32, 34, 36. How many belts would fit you if they are stretchy and all have holes in them, like that have multiple adjustments? A lot of belts, right? And the difference between like a 32 and a 34 is just a few centimeters. So there is just this pervasive, belief in the bra world that you are this size and you're only this size. And I'm telling you that is not true. Not even within a brand, you'll be multiple sizes or multiple sister sizes, depending on how that bra was constructed, which fabrics they used. So you need to have an open mind when again, and this is why it's really important to be empowered when you go and purchase a bra and know about bra sizing so that you don't have the fitter telling you what your size is. And then you come out like your listener here and feel like, gosh, this really just doesn't feel like it's the right size. The bottom line is if it's uncomfortable, it's the wrong size. You do want to be able to expand your lungs and to breathe. Like you have to be able to do that comfortably. I'll tell people you shouldn't be able to pull out the back of the bra, the underband. Like you shouldn't be able to pull it out more than an inch when it's a running bra because you don't want it shifting around on you because you don't want it chafing you. But at the end of the day, if you're thinking about your bra when you're wearing it, it's the wrong bra. Your preference and your comfort is key. You have like a technical need as a running bra. It's got to fit a certain way. It's got to be tight enough that it's supporting you and it's not chafing you. It's also got to not be so tight that it's distracting you either. And, and there are also different fit philosophies with different bra stores and different brands. So for example, in the UK, the fit philosophy is to fit tight. So when I get fit in the UK, I'm always a 30 band, always. When I get fit in the United States, I'm always a 32 band because in the US, the fit philosophy is to fit a little bit looser. Neither one of those is wrong. It's just a preference. So what I tell people is if you prefer your band slightly looser and the bra isn't riding up in the back, it's not chafing you, it's okay to go a little bit looser in your sister size. That's perfectly fine. The question about compression, there I would say, again, well, look for lots of different bras because there are different levels of compression in different bras. Some are very compressive. Some have, slightly more molded cups and they allow a little bit more room. And this also depends on a person and what their breast type is. So there are, within a size, like within 36B, for example, there are pendulous breasts, there are top heavy breasts, there are bottom heavy breasts, there's such an abundance of breast shapes. And so there are certain bras that will fit a breast shape and a breast type really well, and they won't fit another breast shape and a breast type really well, even though two people are the exact same size. So try a bunch of different options. And as long as you're comfortable and you're not experiencing breast pain, to me, the most important thing is that the bra is not distracting you.
Mm-hmm. I just could not write fast enough to take down all those notes.
Wait, what? Go back. So I just had an aha moment too. I feel, and maybe everyone's like, no kidding. But I feel like with shoes, running shoes, right? People might swear by Brooks, but I think there's a different brand for everybody.
Yes. Yes.
Like maybe Lululemon is your brand, but mine is something else. Okay, sorry. I'll get back to the questions and I'll stop my aha moments. Okay, so you just give us a lot of information, which is amazing, and I could not write fast enough. But can you just detail the key components of sports bra fit for us? I know from watching the videos on your site and what you've been saying, it's really critical, the underband fit. But like if we go in, what are the key components we need to look for?
Okay, so when I tell people to look for a sports bra, there are kind of three stages that I walk them through. The first stage is I call like the universal truth stage. The second stage is what to look for in a bra, and the third stage is what to look for in a dressing room. So I'm going to be talking a lot, and you're probably going to be writing a lot, but I'll walk you through all the stages. So the first stage, which to me is the foundation, the universal truth stage, is two things. So first, the bra needs to fit you like it was custom made for you, and the more it fits you like it was custom made for you, the better the fit is going to be in a running bra. And the second is what I just said, which is that you need to have zero distractions in a running bra. If you're thinking about your bra while you're wearing it, it's the wrong bra. So with that in mind, the second stage of figuring out which bra to even take into the dressing room with you, the acronym I use to help people decide that is, I call it the ABCCs of sports bras, so ABCCS. So the A stands for adjustability, and you're looking for adjustability in the straps and in the underband because that's a bra that's the most likely to fit you as if it's made for you if you can micro adjust it to your particular body. Now, that being said, there are bras that don't have those adjustments that fit people really well, and that's because they just happen to fit, the bra that's made just happens to fit their body well, and that's great if that happens to be you. But if not, you should look for something that has adjustability. For B, that's bra sized. So, like 36A, 36B, that's more likely to fit you than a small, medium, large size bra is. And in the industry, we call that alpha size because it's using letters, so SML. So again, there are people who fit SML bras quite well, and that's because their breast size matches their clothing size. So they have small breasts, small clothing size, medium breasts, medium clothing size. Like if that's you, again, great. Have at it. That's wonderful. You can wear a small, medium, or large size bra. But if that's not you, then you should be wearing a bra size bra so that it can fit you as if it was made for you. The first C is for cups. And what you're going to look for in cups is two things. One, you want to look for something that looks like a dome and not a cone. And what I mean by that is you want like this shallow curve of a cup. The longer and pointier the cup is, the more your breasts are going to move. And the second thing you want to look for is little stretch. The more the bra stretches, the more the breasts will move. So, when I'm talking to people about bras for all kinds of activities, I'll tell them, yeah, for yoga, you can have a really stretchy bra and be super comfortable. But for running, you need to have a little stretch. And especially in the cups, you're looking for as little stretch as possible. And then the second C is cleavage. C for cleavage, meaning that if you can see cleavage, it's not a good running bra because any breast tissue that's exposed is going to move. So if you can see cleavage, that means either the cups are too small or the design of the bra is meant to show cleavage, which means it's probably not the best choice for running. It's meant for something else.
Lounging around, watching Netflix.
Yeah,
looking good,
looking like a hottie at the gym or whatever. I mean, that's fine. That's no problem. But it's not for running. So
taking selfies in the mirror.
Exactly. And then the S is for stretch. So going back to what I just said is that you're looking for a bra that has as little stretch as possible, especially in the cups and in the front straps. Those are two areas that you want to make sure are locked out when you're talking about a running bra. So that's what you want to look for in a bra before you take it into the dressing room. Now, once you're in the dressing room, then there are a bunch of other things that you need to look for. So first and foremost, you need to know that you're in the right size. So hopefully you've been professionally fit at a place that does really good professional fittings. Like I recommend Nordstrom. And Nordstrom is funny because they have all these measuring tapes in the dressing room that they use as props because they know that consumers need to see them to feel confidence in the process. They never use them because they know that's not the way to size someone because they're smart. They actually use standard bras, which is how I also recommend that people get sized. Is like they have a set of bras that they know that this bra is definitely a 36B, and they put a person in it, and if they fit in the bra, they're a 36B, and if they don't, they're not. So Nordstrom is a great place to get sized. Title IX is also another good place to get sized. So those are places that I recommend to people. So get sized, figure out what your size is, know what your sister sizes are, and go into the dressing room armed with that information. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure the bra is properly adjusted. So you want to make sure that the shoulder straps are adjusted and the underband is adjusted if it has those, adjustment options. And with the shoulder straps, you don't have to adjust it the same on both sides because most people have one shoulder that's a little bit higher than another. So adjust it so that it fits your particular body. And then in terms of what hook you should put it on, experts will tell you should put it on the loosest hook. And I generally say that as a blanket statement as well. And that's because as the bra starts to wear out, if you do want to keep your bra a little bit longer, you can cinch it into the middle and then to the tightest hook and keep the bra a little bit longer. So if that's something that you're interested in, then you want to look for one that fits on the loosest hook. But there's nothing wrong with fitting a bra on the middle hook if that's what you prefer to. So that's totally up to you. But so adjust it properly. And then do a stretch test on the straps and on the underband. So pull up on the shoulder straps and see how far you can pull them up. If they're properly adjusted and you can pull them up, say more than half an inch in a running bra, it means there's either too much stretch in the bra or it's not a good fit for you. And then with the underband, like I said before, pull out the back of the underband. If it's pulling out, probably more than an inch, it's again, maybe you need to, cinch it tighter, or you need to go down an underband size. The two biggest fit issues in bras is either cups that are too small or underbands that are too big. So those are the two things that you're going to see most often. You're going to see somebody who's in the right cup size, meaning they're in the right sister size class, but they're just in the wrong size. So they've got the wrong underband size, and usually it's too big, or they've got cups that are too small. That's another really common fit issue. So speaking of cups, that's the next thing you should look at. And knowing that cups are usually too small if they aren't fitting, look to see, are you seeing that cleavage? Are you busting out anywhere? Do you have anything called double busting? That's when the neckline of the bra is cutting into your breast, and you can see a little bump on top of where the neckline hits. It looks like a little M. So you want to make sure you don't have double busting. Now, alternatively, if you're somebody who's in a cup that's too loose, and that does happen every so often, you're going to see wrinkling or space in the cups. And if that's happening, then the cups are too loose. Then the next thing you should look at is the band. So again, I said usually the bands are too big. So just make sure that it's not riding up in the back. That means it's too big, or you're not able to pull it out too far. That also means it's too big. And then look at the straps and make sure, do an assessment of your shoulder slope and your shoulder width. So if you're somebody who has narrow and or sloping shoulders, you're going to be wanting to use a racer back and not a bra with straight straps. And one way to tell if the bra straps are going to fall off your shoulders, it's a little bit difficult to explain without a visual, but I'm going to try. So take your right hand and put it on your left shoulder as if you're tapping your shoulder, for example. And then have your pinky all the way at the edge, all the way at the very end of your shoulder, and lay your four fingers down. So keep your thumb out of it. Just lay your four fingers down. If your index finger is covering or partially covering your bra strap, it's probably going to fall off. it's probably going to start to slip off at some point. And that's for both an everyday bra and a running bra. So if you do that and you notice the shoulder straps are going toward the outside there, then you probably want to look for a different style and one that has more of a racer back shape, or one that has shoulder straps that are a little closer to the neck. And then the final thing I tell people to do is to do that slow motion video. So if you have that feature on your cell phone, set it to slow mo, do some running in the dressing room, and see if you can see a lot of movement while you're doing that. And it is really surprising when you do that how much movement you'll actually see. The final test, of course, is how comfortable the bra is. So purchase from a store that allows you to return after wearing it. And if you go out for a run or two and you decide, hey, you know what, this isn't working for me, then you shouldn't feel guilty at all about returning it. Like, that's why those stores have those policies.
Wow. Laura, woman, you know your stuff. And you are seriously like, you can, I just
speechless.
I feel like you're like Joan of Arc for sports bras. Like I can see you like with your like sword and your armor, and you're like, I can do this. I can help these people.
Because I'm going to be up in Nordstrom, like, I need to see my sister size, and I'm just going to take a little video. Y'all stand back. People are going to be afraid of me. We're like, I am not leaving here without the right bra.
Yes. My goal is to make you a sports bra badass. If you can be a sports bra badass, I've done my job.
Yeah. You need to be running through Nordstrom. Bravolution! Never again.
Oh my gosh. So, well, the word badass resonates very strongly with us. So that's fabulous that you use it. So let's shift to the topic of chafing, because numerous women on our Facebook page asked about it. I definitely, man, it is the bane of my existence. So what sort of anti-chafing advice do you have? And there's so many places, for a while for me, it was right under my breast. And now, like, I've practically almost lost my scar that's there, because now it's happening on the sides. And it's just like, ugh.
Is it the same bra, Sarah?
For a while it was. I remember when we were having tea, and I bring mine with me to show you. No, so I've tried to switch up the bras that I wear. Yeah. And it's just, it's such a common complaint among our crowd. So kind of, what can you talk about? Because when I remember when we were talking in person, you were talking about how it might be the threads and like the kind of little, right? Like little tiny ones are coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about this. So,
good.
well, first, just kind of a level set on what chafing is. So just recognize that chafing is both an internal and an external environmental thing. So chafing is very individual. It can depend on a person's skin sensitivity and how much they sweat. It's a hormonal thing. So you could have, two women, same exact bra size, same exact marathon, same bra. One will have chafing and one won't, right? It's your body shape. There's a lot that goes into it that's individual. There's also environmental, and environmental is the weather. Is it super humid? Are you on a triathlon? Do you have salt or sand or anything that's part of the equation that's falling in there? And then of course the bra itself. Mm-hmm. And with the bra itself, there's a few things that you want to look for. One thing I want to just do a little myth busting on bonding. So what bonding is, and manufacturers love bonding and designers love bonding because it makes these super super modern looking bras because it doesn't use any stitching, and what they do is they glue the fabrics together. Now, the problem with that, if you've glued paper together or glued fabric together on your own, is that it creates a very stiff seam. Mm-hmm. And it also creates a seam that it's a moisture barrier. So the moisture ends up getting trapped where the bonding is. So on the one hand, you definitely want to run your finger along any seams and see if they feel rough to you. Like that's when you're purchasing the bra, like run your fingers, see what feels rough. But don't assume that just because a bra doesn't have seams that it's going to be better either. And that's just my call out about bonding, because, like bonding, they'll free cut a fabric, meaning they won't, they won't cover the seams on the edges. They'll just free cut it because it's glued. And that can actually cause a rough edge. Mm-hmm. So run your fingers around it, see how it feels. Don't think that because it has thread that it's a bad thing. There are threads that are softer than others. So there are some really beautiful threads called Seam Soft that manufacturers use that feel really, really soft against the skin. They are more expensive than regular threads are, so you usually find them in higher end sports bras, but they do exist, and I find that they don't chafe as much as even a bonded seam does. And the other thing you want to look for is, I call it smooth but not slippery. So a lot of really well-meaning manufacturers will pick these super slippery, soft fabrics for sports bras that are luxurious and feel great, especially right when you put them on, or, when you're in the dressing room. And you'll think, oh, well, it's so soft and it's so, luxurious, it's going to be great. Well, the thing is, if it's so soft, it's slippery, it's going to start moving on you. And then it will also cause some micro movements and some chafing. So you want something that's smooth, but not slippery. And like a lot of those underbands that have a little bit of brushing to them, they feel like those are great because although they're they run warm, they will tack down on your body, and they won't shift the way like a slippery underband will. And that being said, the problem with bras is it's like, imagine if you went running without any socks on. I mean, the odds of you getting blisters and chafing are quite high, right? And with bras being right against the skin with no barrier in between, there's always going to be a risk of chafing if you're somebody who's prone to that, or especially if the bra isn't fitting you really tightly, as tightly as it can, to the point that not causing you discomfort, obviously. So to me, like, honestly, like, I used to use kinesio tape, which is, not the most attractive thing, but it's because the tape, once it's on your body, it doesn't move, right? So anything you put over that it's not going to chafe you. And bras, by the nature of what they are, they're always going to move a little bit. So your best bet is to look for something that run your fingers along the inside, make sure it's smooth, not slippery, make sure you're not feeling any jagged edges on either bonding or seams or threads. Make sure that it fits you really well, as snugly as possible. But if you're somebody who's just prone to that, you might just need to use something like, kinesio tape or,
kind of like second skin type, Compede, I think it's called, the kind of blister prevention.
I think that's another great option too. I mean, that's a little bit more expensive, but even though I've never personally used that, I bet it would work really well.
Oh yeah, we had we've had a guest on previously, and she had breast augmentation, and she and I ran Boston the same year, and we were part of the same program, and she showed me after the race, like, she's like, this is what I have to wear because this is the scar I have from my chafing. And so she buys like a whole sheet of it, and it's kind of that wound kind of covering stuff. So that's a great solution. And and could they design a bra that's made to go in conjunction with something like that? Sure, of course they could, and maybe that's coming, but until then, I can't tell you that there's a this holy grail bra that prevents that, but you can do it by making sure that you're in the right size. And the other thing too so going back to bonding, keeping moisture against your body, like, stay away from cotton bras, like, stay away from any kind of fabric that isn't going to wick sweat, or a bra that's really thick and heavy, because if you've got these really thick, heavy cups or a whole bunch of layers in the bra, then that's also going to trap sweat against your body, which is going to give you a higher likelihood of chafing too. So that's another thing to watch out for.
So speaking of the layers, we're gonna go inside the bra for a minute. This is a question.
The bra, like it.
I know. I'm talking to a bra expert. I've got to up my game here with these questions. I'm just leading you into a question everyone's asking, and this one is from Michelle. A lot of people asked this though when we said we were going to talk to you. So many women could do without the inserts. So her question is, how can I find one that is supportive but doesn't have the inserts? The inserts always get bunched up. They drive me insane, but I can't find a supportive one without inserts.
Yes, the removable cups, those are about as polarizing as underwires are. People either love them or hate them. And from the perspective of a manufacturer, the reason why manufacturers use those is because there's such a dichotomy in preference on that. There are some women who absolutely love those cups, and so when a designer designs a sports bra and they feel they've come up with a great design, they don't want somebody to purchase it because it has cups, or not purchase it because it has cups. Like they want to give people the option, which is why they do that. This is very much an imperfect solution because, as your listener said, they move all over the place. You put them in the wash, they turn into, powder. I mean, it's just like, honestly, there's so much room for innovation with those removable cups. That being said, I think there are some manufacturers that do that a little bit better than others. If it's like this really flimsy piece of foam, it's not going to last long. And you really take care with it. Other manufacturers have, insertable cups that are a little bit more hefty. If you're someone who doesn't prefer to have cups in your sports bras, odds are you're going to need to just specifically look for a bra that isn't made with any kind of foam padding in it. And those sports bras exist. Otherwise, if you're lucky enough to have one of those bras and when you take the pads out, it still fits you really well, great. The problem is when manufacturers make those bras are kind of, going on one, they have to straddle both sides. They have to make the bra go, okay, well, it has to fit well enough without the cups and well enough with the cups. It's never really a completely great fit one way or the other because they're trying to satisfy both sides of it. So, maybe you might have to go down a size so that, you want to take those cups out and go down a size so that you actually get the compression that you need without the cups in. That's another thing to look for. But I totally hear the complaints on that, and I get it. I mean, there's a lot of room for innovation there with those for sure. But my thing is probably the best thing is to look for the bra that was designed without them to begin with if you're not a fan of those.
Yeah. Okay, so this final question is a comment from Beth. It took me a second to get, but then it totally cracked me up. She said, why don't they install butt height panic buttons in fitting rooms? And what she's talking about is the dreaded help, I can't get this bra off. And as Nicole wrote, she said, I've had some doozies of a workout where my arms and chest were so dead and I was so sweaty, I was sure I was going to just have to keep wearing the bra until it rotted off on its own. So man, I hear that. Oh my gosh, just lately with my marathon training, so my bras are just soaking and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this off? So do you have any, can you leave us with any, how do we get this bra off advice?
Oh dear. Buy a bra with a closure. I know that's not what you want to hear. But that is just the nature of anything that's wet and tight. I mean, once you if you put something dry on before it gets soaked with sweat, trying to get it off once it's wet is a doozy. I mean, trying to do it without you. Really, good luck to you. And that is just another area where I feel like manufacturers have so much room for innovation is to make bras, especially bras with front closures. And the thing with zippers is, like, to me, zippers are just as hard to get on. Like, I mean, like you gotta like hold your boobs with one hand, and trying to finagle the zipper with another. I mean, come on, like.
Yeah.
I tried that the other day at the store. It was so hard, and then I was like pushing them in, and yeah.
Or I used to test bras sometimes for magazine articles, and I would, like 3 miles into a run, I realized the zipper was like halfway down. I'm just like, whoa.
Oh yeah. Because it takes a much more expensive zipper to prevent that from happening. So manufacturers will sometimes skimp on that. Right?
Oh, yes.
So yes. So I guess the first thing is bras with closures. I think they're probably going to fit you better anyway, per my earlier advice about, finding bras with closures, but obviously easier to get off. The second thing that you can do is, and this is only going to work for certain people, is that sometimes you can go the opposite way. You can push it down over your hips.
Oh yeah.
Versus trying to get it on over your shoulder. So but that only works for, if you have really wide hips, then it's probably not going to help. But if you're somebody whose hips and shoulders are about the same width apart, then you can do that as well.
But then let's talk, why is it, back to Beth's comment about the butt height panic buttons, why is it that it helps to lean over and stick your butt out? Like, why does that make it ease the situation and make it so you can get that? Like, I don't understand physiologically, why is that?
I think it might be a gravity thing. Like you're, rather than, going against, you're sort of going with and down.
Have you guys ever been stuck in a bra in the fitting
Yeah.
room and you're trying to get it off and you hear the little seam go rip
Oh yeah.
and you're like, I hope no one else is in here. And it's so loud, it like echoes around the halls of the entire mall. You're like, rip. Do I have to buy this now?
I know. Oh my goodness. The struggle is real, as Maggie often says.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And see, that is why I've dedicated my life to this, because there's just so much room for improvement.
I tell you now, if I was an illustrator, I would totally now you'd be like part Superwoman, part Joan of Arc. Oh my gosh, I want to make a caricature. So
I drew it in my mind.
yes, that's the best I can do. So Laura, it was a delight talking with you, and I hope the next time it can be in person. So thanks for joining us.
Likewise, thank you. So lovely to talk to you as well.
All right. Well, we hope that you love this show. And if so, you please subscribe to our podcast and make it so the settings in whatever podcast app you use automatically download all the podcasts, including this one that you subscribe to. So why am I making this a rather specific request? It's that a show's popularity is judged by how many downloads it gets. And the more downloads, the more new listeners find our show. And truth be told, the more brands want to advertise on our show, which helps us to keep making it. So please subscribe to and make it so your settings automatically download the podcast you're subscribed to. Thank you so very much. Our podcast today was produced in Portland, Oregon by Alex Ward from Sounds Like Pictures. Many happy miles.